Welcome back to Wollipop Kids. We have some bad news.
One of our chickens died.
Yeah.
It was
one of the silver sisters. And it was Sage. It was struggling a lot. Its leg, it was laying on its side. My mom will talk more about that, but it's been damaged. We had to put it in its own very box. We buried it. It died, sadly. We tried giving it the best care we could.
It was injured and died because of a vitamin E. It had lacked vitamin E, so it was just immobile. Sometimes I get this burst of energy and move around, but then it became immobile again, and then died.
My mom will talk more about how this happened. And
hey guys, so I'm going to be explaining what ended up happening with Sage. So prior to us noticing that she was sick, I noticed that the brooder in the middle was very empty. Like the pine shavings was like on the outer, like a circle, kind of like those weird fake UFO landings. She had that in her brooder, and I kept filling the brooder back up with pine shavings, and they kept doing it. So on the third day, we noticed that she was laying on her side, and I thought maybe she had splayed leg because of the brooder lacking the pine shaving in the center. Maybe she slipped. So when I kind of took her out of the brooder away from the other hens, I noticed that she also had almost like a weak wing, and I thought maybe she got pecked and beat up by the other girls. So I isolated her, brought her inside with her own heat lamp, food, and water, and we kind of just let her chill the first day. And then she started, eating a little bit and drinking, what I assumed at least. And then we did bandage her legs up together to try to get her to walk. And that didn't really end up working out.
No, well, because she didn't have any strength in her.
Right, yeah. She was lethargic, basically.
Yeah, she didn't have any strength in her legs.
Mm-hmm.
Or wings.
Right, and when I held her, it was like holding like a sack of meat, lifeless, but she was still like alive, but she was lethargic. So then the second day of her being inside, she ended up getting pasty butt. So I had pasty butt going on. I had spayed leg and a broken wing.
Except it wasn't really spayed leg. It just seemed like it.
Right. Well, these are things that I assumed that they were. And it ended up not being the case. And upon me looking it up and doing my own research, I got a lot of mixed results, which between spayed leg, her getting beat up, and then there was Marek's disease. That one kept coming up. And that one was like, oh no, if she had Marek disease, then there's only a few days before the other baby chickens start dying out and having reactions.
Yeah,
or it also was letting us.
Said it's like within 3 miles or something. It's like
right within 3 miles of like exposure, the other hens would also
or any hen
die. Right, and we were supposed to have like designated clothes and boots from going from the brooder to the coop and the hens out here. So it was a very stressful situation, and it was all new to me. So I didn't know what I was getting involved in.
And if it was Marek's, just as a
and
heads up, it's not contagious to people.
Right, Marek disease for the chickens isn't contagious to humans, but
highly contagious.
Highly contagious to other chickens.
And it's basically like a death sentence.
Yeah, there's no curing it, that guy. As much as even getting them vaccinated, yes, you can prevent the possibility of it, but they are still prone to getting it. So then that happened, and I was stressed out. I really didn't know what to do with it being the Marek's disease. And then I did more research, And I reached out to more people on social media, like on TikTok, with similar situations. And they had mentioned getting I believe it was the Nutri-Drench vitamins for the chickens at Tractor Supply. And it was very confusing. It was Marek disease, it was the vitamin deficiency, and I think B and E.
Right. So the thing with the vitamin deficiencies was that they'll cause weak legs, but vitamin B will cause curl toe.
Right, and Sage did not have curl toes. She had the spayed leg. She had the what seemed broken leg. No, broken leg and broken wing, and very lethargic.
Well, it wasn't broken legs, just legs didn't work.
Right. But I don't know if it was broken, or it was just because of the vitamin deficiency. You know, I didn't take her to a vet to like rule out what was the cause.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it was expensive, and then it was just a lot of stress mentally and emotional, especially for the kids. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to really put them through that because there was also no guarantee that we'd get the baby chicken's body back to be able to bear her.
So with vitamin E, I believe it is,
Mhm.
deficiency, it was the head drooping.
Right.
Remember, so she had a lot of head drooping and head twitching.
Right. So after the whole pasty situation, I did take her a bath. You know, I got her cleaned up, and she got her great color back. Mind you, this Sage was a lavender Orpington. So when I first took her out of the brooder, when I noticed she was ill, she was like yellow, really bad, ill looking. And during the pasty butt situation, her color came back. She was perky, as I assumed, and she was eating. At least I thought she was eating. And I did have to like raise her up, you know, for her to wake up and like eat, because she would like fall asleep and then had burst of energies. And that wasn't the case. It wasn't her getting energy and like eating. It was
Air pecking.
Yeah, air pecking.
Air pecking and maybe convulsions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we were jarring her a little by moving her, and then her head would move around.
Almost like little seizures.
Yeah.
Right.
And she was kind of almost in her eye. Was almost like.
Yeah, one of her eyes didn't look too good. So, you know, with all these things going on, different situations, you know, the legs, the wing, the brooder missing, pine shavings, the head retracting, the lethargicness, her unable to really get up and eat and drink on her own, was so many possibilities.
But most of those signs are related to, I believe it was vitamin E deficiency.
Vitamin E deficiency. And that's when people on, like, you know, TikTok that I reached out to, they were like, you know, go get these vitamins for your chickens and all these was it roost booster also, but I didn't manage to get that one.
And don't forget that with Marek's, the chickens all seem to be walking around. Ours couldn't.
Right.
At least the ones we saw.
Right. With the Marek disease, you know, once you get one ill chicken, you know, it's only a matter of days or weeks before your other baby chickens start to get ill as well. And this wasn't the case with our other 5 chickens. They are still alive. They are still eating, healthy, growing, shedding their wings and their little feathers, I mean. And it was just difficult to really pinpoint what was going on. But I think what ended up being the case for Sage was the whole vitamin deficiency, and maybe her not being able to get the proper vitamins or food, or being able to also digest it, I think, because like I think the other hens already knew there was, not the hens but the baby chicks knew something was wrong with her, and she was kind of like getting isolated from like the drinking and the food. Yeah, it's a rough one, you know. This is new to us. This is our first death also.
And don't forget, Inigo woke up.
Yes, and also the night Sage did pass away, Inigo ended up waking up like at 2 or 3 in the morning, and he woke up out of his sleep, so out of nowhere, and he's like, I need water. And had it not been for him waking up wanting water, we would have not been able to get our last moments with Sage as she took her last breath. And after that, she passed away. Like there was no waking her up anymore. There was no more chirping or nothing. It was the end. So it was rough on Inigo the most. And one thing you're not going to be prepared for is losing one of the baby chickens or any chickens, because you get attached, and especially the kiddos. And it was hard. I did cry, but it's part of life, and also the farm life. No one can prepare you for it, but all you got to do is give these little girls, these chicks and hens, a lot of TLC. So we have a question for you guys, and this is more for the people that are more interested in the homestead life that we have going on. If you guys would want us to start a new channel that's more only about the chickens and the vegetables in the homestead, or do you guys want us to stay with the Wollipop Kids and just create a separate playlist of the homestead? Just let us know. Comment below. And again, good luck, and just give these chicks a lot of TLC, and hopefully everyone has a good, healthy hens. Bye.